So something really interesting happened to me recently that I realized I need to share with you guys as a great teachable moment. In January, I had the very direct experience of being manifested consciously by another person. And this has actually happened to me before. It's happened, I'm sure, to a lot of you. We manifest each other. That's why a lot of you are here. You're trying to manifest your specific person. People are manifesting each other all the time. But one of the themes of questioning that you guys seem to come back to a lot, especially when it comes to manifesting people, is the idea of free will. Can someone else reject your manifestation of them? Can someone else say, no, I don't want to be manifested by that person and I want to reject them forever? Are other people doing that to you as you're manifesting? And I wanted to talk about this specifically in this video today because I had a client call the other day, and what this person asked me was, if my SP knows how to manifest, does that mean it's more difficult to manifest that person? Which is a great question, but it's just another version of the free will thing. Like, can my person reject my manifestation of them? And so I told the client the same story I'm about to tell you in depth because I want you to see this differently. Because also this whole question about free will, like, can someone reject my manifestation of them? Can they manifest against my manifestation or whatever? And I get why you're asking the question. That's why I say it is a good question to ask that, especially as you're learning this. But I need to tell you that this question is coming from a fundamental misunderstanding of manifestation to begin with. Manifestation is not spell casting. And when you are relating to manifestation as if it's like that, like, oh, I'm gonna cast a spell on this person to make them love me. Do they have any power against my spell? Like, that's how I feel like some of you are relating to this, and why you're confused about free will is because, like, you're making it seem like I gotta force this person to do something against their will. They don't want to do it. I'm assuming they don't want to do it. And I'm relating to manifestation like I'm just casting a spell on them and it's gonna make them go through the puppet motions to come towards me. Manifestation is not spell casting. It's not voodoo. It's not forcing anyone to do anything that they don't want to do. Manifestation actually has nothing to do with anyone's free will. But again, I get why it would seem confusing to our egos that are still relating to other people like they are rejecting us or they're choosing us. Our ego likes to relate to other people from the standpoint of separation as opposed to the standpoint of oneness. And oneness is the only reason that manifestation works, because we are all one. We are all one consciousness. And so what is really happening is when I make a change within myself, the other person, because they are not separate from me, they are me, they also change. That's why we say there's no free will. You don't have to think about like, oh, well, are they gonna reject my manifestation? Because it's like, dude, they are you. Like, they are not someone outside of you that's like got power, that's like a separate entity from you that's gonna like thwart your spell with their own spell. Like, that's not what manifestation is. It's you making a profound energy difference within yourself. And that other person, the other people, whatever it is, they have no free will, as you hear us say, but to respond accordingly because they're not separate from you. They are you. Everything is you. Anyway, I'm already on a rant. We need to get to the story because my story of how someone manifested me is really going to mirror to you exactly what I'm talking about. And specifically to answer my client's question who asked me, well, can someone, if you're trying to manifest someone who knows about manifesting, you know, is it harder to manifest them? And obviously my answer to that is no, it's not harder. I'm a freaking manifestation teacher and someone very easily, consciously manifested me. But let me get into the story so that you understand the context of what I'm talking about here. So the person who manifested me back in January of this year is a very, very old friend. They're actually an old high school friend. She and I were like best friends in high school. We were super, super close. Oh, and also middle school. Yeah, it was like late middle school, early high school that we were close. But she moved after freshman year of high school, and then we kind of loosely kept in touch, but like I had not talked to her, I swear to God. I had not really talked to her or even thought about her for 10 years. Like, I briefly saw her 10 years ago at this thing she invited me to, like a professional thing that I stopped by. But since then we have not talked. And it wasn't because we had like a big falling out. There was no problem between us. That's probably why this was a low resistance manifestation for her, because there was nothing she was trying to fight against in her mind to manifest me back into her life. life. But for context, she was an old friend. We have not talked in 10 years. And as I said, I have not really thought about her very much in this time. Again, not for any bad reason. It's just that our lives just naturally went in very different directions and we just totally lost touch. In 10 years is a long time. Didn't talk, not really thinking about her at all, no communication, 10 years. Then something interesting happened to me. In January of this year, as I said, I noticed all of a sudden she was just kind of popping into my head a lot, and it felt very natural. Take note of what I'm saying here. It just felt very natural. It felt very random. It's just kind of like, you know, I'm just going throughout my day stream of consciousness and it's like, oop, she just suddenly kind of pops in. And again, it felt natural. I was non-resistant to it. The thoughts of her were just kind of neutral and curious, like, oh yeah, remember her? I wonder what she's doing. Very just kind of natural, but like it kept coming. Like just throughout the day, it's like bloop, bloop, bloop. She would just like come into my consciousness. And again, I haven't really thought about this woman for like 10 years. It's like just random that all of a sudden she's like coming into my consciousness kind of a lot. And the way she's coming into my consciousness is again, very non-resistant. It's not like she's coming into my consciousness and then I'm reminded of a problem. And I will touch on this later. If you're thinking of your SP in a resistant, problem-y way, then they are feeling it. When you pop into their head, they're feeling the same thing you are. But she was popping into my head in this like non-resistant kind of way. And this happened, you know, more and more every day. And I still wasn't really thinking much of it. It wasn't until it was starting to get close to her birthday. Her birthday is in January. And I started to think, oh yeah, isn't her birthday this particular day? And again, I couldn't totally remember because it'd been so long since I like was really close with this person. I couldn't remember what her exact birthday was, but I could remember, oh yeah, it's in January. I think it's coming up. And so now not only was she popping into my head a lot, but now I was thinking about, oh yeah, and I think her birthday is like coming up. It's like in the next day or the next couple days or something. And so because she's just so naturally present with me in my head, of course I was like, okay, well on the day that I thought it was her birthday, I was like, well, I should just text her and be like, hey, I've been thinking about you. I know it's been a long time. I hope you're doing okay. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. So what made this extra weird too is this wasn't actually like a text. It was a message through Instagram because again, it'd been so long since I've talked to her. I don't even know if I had her phone number, but I did have an Instagram page of hers that I followed, but she wasn't really active on the page anymore. So I didn't even know if it was still like her page. But since it was the only way that I knew to contact her, I thought, yeah, whatever, I'll just send her a message there. But what is so weird that she told me after the fact is that, yeah, that page she almost never logged into anymore. But she happened to log into it like the minute before I sent the message. Like she was saying, like, I couldn't believe it because I wouldn't have seen your message for probably like weeks because I never log into that. But because I logged in like right then and then you sent the message, that's the only reason I saw it like right away. So just another interesting synchronicity of manifestation is that everything seems to line up at the right time. She took an inspired action that she didn't even know she was meant to take, because remember, she was manifesting me and she just randomly took the inspired action of, oh, I'm just gonna log into my old Instagram. I haven't logged into this forever. And she didn't know that the minute she logged into it, I was gonna message her. It's a great example of inspired action. So anyway, as I said, she saw my message instantly. And to me, I thought that was normal because she responded like right away. And I just assumed, oh yeah, this must be her page. She's on it all the time. And then, like I said, I found out later she like never logs into that. So anyway, we started talking and we decided, okay, it's been so long since we've hung out. Let's obviously go get coffee. And I learned that she still lives in my area. She had moved away for a while, but now she was back. So we met up for coffee. And then this is how I found out that she, the sneaky little lady, was actually manifesting me. And the reason that she was like bloop, bloop, popping into my head all of these moments and gaining momentum every day was because she was very consciously manifesting me. She had been thinking about me before I was thinking about her. She was getting curious about me. She told me she was like going on my old Facebook and like stalking all my social media. And then she finds my YouTube stuff. She's probably watching this right now. So she was all up in my energy. She was so curious about me. She was so wanting to reconnect with me that she decided to consciously manifest me. But remember what I said, we didn't have a lot of resistance between each other because, as I said, we just kind of drifted apart 10 years ago. There wasn't like a big problem that happened happened between us that was like a lot of drama that she had to fight against in her own consciousness. So obviously for her to manifest me, it was very easy for her to just step into like her desire for me, obviously not in a romantic context, but her desire to rekindle a friendship. It was easy for her to step into that because she didn't need it. She wasn't desperate for it. She wasn't wallowing in loneliness about it. She just easily was like, yeah, I miss Genevieve. Let's get Genevieve back in my life over here. And the rest is history. Now we're friends again. We're even gonna maybe start a project together. And it's just easy peasy. That's how you manifest a specific person. So now let's go back to what I was saying in the beginning with my client question of, well, if I'm manifesting someone who knows about manifestation, will they like thwart my manifestation? I hope you're seeing now how that question does not apply. It doesn't matter if you're manifesting the Pope. I've weirdly used that example before. Why do I keep going back to manifesting the Pope? Or manifesting someone fancy, manifesting someone you've never talked to before. It does not matter because manifesting, again, is not about forcing someone to fill a void within you. Because again, if you're coming at this from that like almost like a spell casting mindset of like, oh, I need them so badly, how do I get them to come to me and love me? When you're coming from that angle, you are coming from lack. Instead, you have to come from, oh yeah, I could easily like just be close with them again. I'm just gonna be close with them again. Internally relate to them like me and that person are close. We got a great vibe going. We got great love between us. I am in my fulfillment and I'm simply extending that fulfillment to them in a very conscious, focused way. Your manifestation is not coming into your SP's mind like a letter to them, like, hey, this person wants to manifest you. Do you still want to reject them or do you want to hang out with them? Like, it's not coming into their consciousness. Like, it's a conscious choice for them to make. It's not like a Harry Potter owl that like drops a letter at their window and they're like, oh shit, I don't want to respond to this. I still don't want to hang out with that person. They are truly only ever responding and mirroring whatever is going on within you. So if you're mirroring within you, like, oh, there's so much issues between me and my SP. We've just got so many problems and how do I fix them? And oh my God, if that's your dominant way of relating in the dynamic to that person, then yep, that's what they're picking up on. That's what they're mirroring. That's the dynamic between you two. But it's not a conscious choice in their mind. Like, yeah, I would love to be a dick to this person, or oh, I only want to accept this person over here. I don't want to accept this person who's trying to manifest me. They can try to manifest me all they want, but I'm never going to accept them. That is not how this works. And if someone in the 3D was giving you that feedback, because sometimes you guys have told me that you've told your SPs that you are manifesting them, and that's fine, but sometimes you'll get the 3D feedback from your SP that's like, okay, like you're manifesting me, like I'm not gonna do that, but okay. And the only reason they would be telling you like, oh, you can't manifest me is because again, you're just not in the right state yet to actually be getting a good response from them. Like they're still reflecting you. Like also, if you're telling someone that you're manifesting them, like I said, it's not a big deal, but at the same time, it's like you're still relating to this like it's like spell casting. Like when you are manifesting someone, there's nothing to be said. Again, this is all internal in terms of like, I just relate to this person. I'm alive within me in the dynamic towards this person where everything's good between us. We are close, we've got great communication, they like me, I like them, we got a good vibe going. I'm just focused on knowing that that's what's happening between us. I'm not trying to fix an old reality. This is also why I tell you guys a lot that manifestation is not about fixing the old reality. You have to completely put that aside. It's not interesting anymore. You are closing the door on the old reality. You're not looking at it anymore. You don't care about it anymore. You are not trying to fix the old reality. And if you're trying to manifest through fixing what you don't like, you're still just engaging in the old dynamic, but in a different way. So everything here is still the same because you're just trying to change it. You need to completely leave what you're trying to change and completely step over into the new reality where it's like, there's no issue here. There's nothing I'm trying to fix. There's nothing I'm resisting. There's nothing weird going on. I'm just in the reality where me and this person have a great vibe or whatever. I'm being kind of vague in the video because I'm explaining SP manifestation in a general sense, but you can be as specific as you want, obviously, about, yeah, the dynamic that I participate in between me and this person is that this is the vibe that we got going on. And again, like you experienced in my story, that person just naturally feels it. Like it feels like their thoughts. Like if you want to know what your SP experience is when you're manifesting them, they're just experiencing themselves. And when you come into their mind, if you're doing this correctly, if you're sending your energy towards them in that loving dynamic that is your actual choosing, not from the dynamic where there were still problems, but you've completely dropped that, you're in the good new dynamic. If you are really actively, dominantly in that new dynamic, and that's the vibe they're picking up on from you, you just come into their head like that. And it just feels like them. It just feels like them experiencing themselves, but they're just thinking of you like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Like that's that person I love. Like, oh, it just feels natural. It's like when that was happening to me in January, I'm a manifestation teacher and I wasn't even questioning like, oh, is this thought coming from me or is someone trying to manifest me? Like I'm just naturally in my own consciousness and things are just popping in and I'm just like, cool, that feels like a good thought. Thinking of that person feels good. I'm just gonna follow that feels good. And I don't really care if she's manifesting me or not. I just know that I like the vibe I'm getting. So I'm gonna just go with it and message her on her birthday. It's not like she was forcing thoughts into my head and I'm like resisting them. Like, oh no, I don't want to think about her anymore. I wish she would stop sending me thoughts of her. Like that's not what's happening. It's just me experiencing myself. And it's like, oh, yep. That's cool. I want to connect with her again. It just feels like my own thoughts. That is what your SP is experiencing. When they think of you, whatever quality it is of you that you're sending them, it just feels like them. This is also why they have no free will, because we can't distinguish very well the thoughts that are coming from us versus the thoughts that are coming from someone else, because we are all one. It truly is often hard to distinguish sometimes, like, did that thought really originate in my consciousness or did it originate in someone else's? And I actually made a whole separate video about this. I think it's the one called Your Thoughts Aren't Private or whatever. I can link it because I go deeply into this topic about if your thoughts are coming from you or someone else. But the bottom line is that it does not matter. That's also because people, again, your ego gets so tripped up on, like, is it coming from me or coming from them? It totally does not matter. All that matters is once you're aware of something, you have a choice about what to do with it next. And that's the only role that free will plays in this whole thing. But remember, think of your SP in terms of if they're having thoughts of you that are so pleasant and loving, because that's all you're pushing out to them is just like pleasant, loving, non-resistant thoughts, supportive thoughts, secure thoughts. If that's all that's happening for them in their consciousness, they're not going to resist that. They're perfectly mirroring you. They're not going to question that, like, oh, I'm thinking such loving thoughts about this person. Should I be worried about this? Should I resist this? Like, that's not how we humans think. Like, if we're having pleasurable, loving thoughts about another person, we're like, yep, I like this. Let's keep going with it. And that's why they eventually reach out to communicate, because they're just like in the pleasant, loving vibe. So yes, all people have free will in that you always have choice in terms of the actions that you take depending on your thoughts. But again, why would someone who's having amazing thoughts about you, who's feeling the amazing love and just pleasure that you are feeling and you're both feeling it together, why would they use their free will to resist that? Again, they're only ever mirroring you. You are the conscious manifester. Most people are not conscious manifestors. And even me, I am a conscious manifester, and someone still manifested me and I never questioned it because, again, it just feels so natural. There was no part of my own ego free will that was like, oh, should I question this? Instead, it was like, no, it was all just good vibes. So of course I just wanted to like follow the thread of that direction and reach out to her. I hope this is making sense in terms of helping you to turn off whatever weird, lackful thinking is causing you to think like, well, they aren't gonna accept, because also if you think that they wouldn't accept you, that they would use their free will to turn you down, really all that means is that you just still don't feel chosen by them. That you yourself are still in the vibe of me and this person. Yep, they don't like me. I'm trying to get them. Of course they don't want me. Of course they would reject me. Like, you're still just relating to them from that place. And that's the only reason why you're seeing evidence of that. So anyway, just really simplify it and remember that they are simply mirroring the dominant energy that you are pushing out to them. And if you can be like the story I told you today, in that like non-resistant, like, yeah, of course I can have a good relationship to that person. I'm not trying to fix them because that's the old reality. I'm just stepping into this totally new vibe where it's like, yep, a fresh loving thing is securely happening between the two of us. And I'm just really embodying it. I'm really being focused about it. And then it's like, boom, they feel that and it's mirrored and they're just like, why would I not want to reach out to them? I know this video was so helpful to you guys today, so let me know your thoughts, any other questions that are coming up for you, put them all down below. I do also like to see your thoughts and questions about future topics you want me to cover, because sometimes you guys ask me things that I kind of either hadn't thought to address before, or the way you ask me makes me think of it in a different way. So I do like to see your questions. So please let me know what's on your mind. Also, I just realized I totally forgot to like even introduce myself in this video. I was so excited to tell the story that I just like got straight into it and did not introduce myself. So anyway, I'm Genevieve. I guess I'll say at the end of this video. And if you want to work with me, there are lots of ways to do that down in the links below. I've got lots of courses you can do. You can do a one-on-one session with me. You can join the membership portion of this channel where there's different perks according to the different tier that you join of the membership channel. So if you want to work with me more closely as your coach, check out all of the links and stuff there below. That's so funny that I'm saying this at the end when there's like 3 people watching the end. Kudos to you if you watched the end and saw my intro at the end there. Anyway, I know you guys can do this. I know that you are understanding manifestation better and better every day. We are not casting spells on people. We're not doing voodoo on people. We're not forcing people to do things against their will. We are simply embodying an energy within us that, because we are one with everything, everything else just is like, yeah, let's just match that. Let's all, because we oh my God, I just laugh because I'm like, it's so, sometimes oneness is so difficult to explain. It just sounds so weird to our humanness, but I know you guys get what I'm talking about, that like there really is no separation. And if you're thinking of manifestation through the lens of separation, where it's like, yep, I'm over here, my SP's over there, how do I get them to come over here? Like that's part of the reason why you're struggling with this so much, because you still think that you're separate from them. They are you. They are you. I really, truly mean that. And I know that can take some time for that to really sink in deeper, but they are you. So that's why your only job as a manifester is to really change the energy that is happening within yourself. It's not about them at all. It's about you, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your own energy, how you are obviously directing that energy towards other people, places, and things. But again, it's really all about you and what you are thinking about you, the energy you are embodying and holding and maintaining within yourself. It's a you on you thing, this entire manifestation stuff, you on you. Okay, now I've really ranted too much. So it's time to end this, but I will talk to you guys in the next video. All right, bye.